this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and today I have the monthly celebration 2019 for the month of May. And of course, the month of May has Mother's Day, so I am using this very, very, very old Basic Gray kit. I purchased these kits at a scrapbook yard sale, and they've been sitting in my stash for quite a while, and I felt like even though I didn't pay full price for them, I need to get them used up. And my style has changed a little bit from Basic Gray. I love Basic Gray's, a lot of things about Basic Gray, but the really distressed parts of it, not so much my style anymore. So I was like, let me get this used up. I have several of them that are in my stash, and I want to get them used up because they're there. And while they're not my style right now, at one point I did love them, so I want to go ahead and get them used up. So I am using the kit that came with this. And it's one of those that is a paid subscription or a paid kit. I do have the picture up in the corner so you guys can see the picture, but I don't feel comfortable giving you all of the measurements and things like that because it is a paid purchase, even though I purchased it secondhand. But this is definitely a sketch that I would probably use, or not really a sketch, the measurements that I would use again, because while the paper's not really my style, this way this page is laid out is definitely my style. So the one thing that Basic Gray doesn't do is it doesn't gut its paper. It doesn't, it calls for a lot of layers is probably the best way to put it, but it doesn't factor in the weight of this paper. And Basic Gray was always a very heavy cardstock. So there were a couple times like that green paper that I trimmed down because to put the flower paper, the green paper, and the pink paper at the very top, it would have made the top of the layout very thick and heavy. So I went ahead and trimmed it down to make it a little bit smaller. So these photos are from the Muffins with Mom that the daycare that the boys attend had last year, and they were so very sweet that they did that My Mommy page, and they did one for myself and one for Nicole. So some of those things are very private, and I didn't really want that to be shown. So I'm using these memory pockets from Close to My Heart, and I think they're called flip flaps as well. It gives you the opportunity to either do some hidden journaling or add some additional photos and things like that. And I feel like I didn't want this out in the open, what the boys, what Jackson had to say about the two of us. But two, their handwriting and things like that, it doesn't really go with the layout. So I felt like hiding it behind the picture of the boys with their mom was probably the best thing to do. So when you open up that flap, it has both of what they wrote about me as well as what they wrote about their mom. And I really like the way that turned out because it really does showcase the boys and their mom in this layout. So I did cut down the 3 bottom photos on the left to be 3x4, and then I was able to cut one down to 4x4. And the other one's a little bit bigger than 3x4 because I didn't want to cut any more off of it. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up all of the edges in a pink, I think it's Worn Lipstick is the name of the color. And then go ahead and adhere everything down to the base of the layout. And I finally was able to get some of this thin double-sided tape. It's 1/8 of an inch from Tuesday Morning, and I am loving this. It's so much easier than trying to use my ATG and always having to get the additional adhesive off of it. I did cut that one piece a little short, so I went ahead and put washi tape on the back of it just to make sure that it stayed down. And then I was just having issues with this little tiny strip. I think when you cut them at 1/4 of an inch, it just makes it difficult. So as I'm putting these photos down and arranging everything, I wanted to encourage everyone to check out all of the other monthly celebrations. There are some fabulously talented ladies in this monthly celebration, and I know that they are going to have another amazing layout for each one of you. So I will list all of them below for you so that you can go and check them out and see what their May monthly celebration is all about. So I am using this paper. It shows this piece of paper actually a lot bigger in the image of the layout, but because I added additional photos, it made it a little bit more difficult for me to add something there. So I went ahead and cut that down and then rounded the corners with my corner rounder and just added it to the top of the photo. And then there's these pieces come with acetate, which are beautiful altogether, but I'm not a big fan of acetate. So I put a little bit of adhesive on the 4 green swirls that are coming out. And then I knew I was going to cover up that left side. So I went ahead and put adhesive down there as well. And then these stickers came with the kit as well. So I went ahead and used the word Mother's Day. And one of the things that I loved about the Basic Gray monthly kits is that you would get a full sheet of stickers. So it made it so much easier to do whatever title you want. I think that the title that was on there was Sweet Girl or something like that, but you could make it whatever title you want. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and do a little bit of embellishments. So I'm adding a few things here, and this is where I do veer off from the guideline or the guidance that they show in the layout. I went ahead and I love this little, I guess it's a stem, but it has hearts on it as the leaves instead of just regular leaves. So I really like the way that looks. So I put it right next to the photo. I lined it up so that the line of the stem goes right along that green paper. And then this swirly banner, I put it down at the end of where I'm going to have my journaling. So I'm going to have all my journaling down there at the underneath the Mother's Day. And I keep looking at the stickers, trying to figure out what I'm going to do, what I'm going to add. I do end up adding this label sticker, and I'm going to add the date to it at the end. So I'm just adding that right to the top of that photo there. And then I'm going to add these 3 flowers to that white space between the photos there on the left-hand side of the layout. So this is where I get out the page protector, and I go ahead and cut a slit in the page protector and adhere this down. Now there's a couple ways that you can do this, use these flip flaps or memory pocket holders. I like to go ahead and cut a hole in the page protector and slide them in so that the adhesive part of the piece is covered underneath that photo. So you can see there that I'm struggling with it quite a bit. But what I'm doing is lining it up so that you won't see the adhesive at all. You can adhere the flip flaps on top of the page protector as well, and you don't have to cut into your page protector, but just remember that you will have that little line of adhesive. And sometimes I've done that as well, where it's been in a place where maybe I have a border strip or something similar to it, and I go ahead and put the border strip all the way down the layout, and then as well as on top of the page protector so that it covers that up as well. So then I have a border strip on both. And so I've done both, and both have worked, and it just depends on what is going on in the layout. This one here, it didn't have anything at all underneath that photo. So that's why I went ahead and adhered it directly to the paper and cut the hole in the page protector. So I'm going to go ahead and add my journaling and my date, which I messed up on. I put 2017 instead of 2018. So I just went ahead and wrote over it. Luckily, it was a number that I could write over, and then just wrote over the other numbers as well so that you can see it. So I'm adding this big flower to the top. So this is definitely one of those, it's a girly layout, so I can add girly things to it, even though it is with the boys. Mother's Day is definitely a girly layout. So that is it for this layout. Thanks for joining us for another monthly celebration. Make sure you check out the ladies down below because I'm sure they'll have lots and lots of inspiration for you. Here's my final layout as well as some close-ups. And if you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layouts, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. All right, everyone, have a scrappy day, and thanks for watching.